For my next review, we're going to enter the wacky world of Jeff Minter and take a look at Jeff Minter's Revenge 2 on the Mad label, also known as Return of the Mutant Camels, which is a sequel to Revenge of the Mutant Camels, which is a sequel to Attack of the Mutant Camels. Let's take a look. Here's the front cover of Jeff Minter's Revenge 2, as it says at the top of the screen there. And we've got an interesting sort of a front cover. Bit more imaginative than quite a few of the Mastertronic releases. Got some Egyptian hieroglyphics around the edge. Got the MAD logo at the bottom there. And we've got a giant robotic camel firing lasers towards the screen. And also a variety of curious items, including telephones, telephone boxes, dog food, a cup of coffee, and I'm not sure what that is. Something, anyway. So that's the front cover, and the spine says Revenge 2 on it, and the back's got some screenshots. Typical colourful Jeff Minter offering by the looks of it, complete with camels of course. And description of the game: the mutated 90-foot high laser spitting death camels are revenged against their captors, and so on. Inside we've got quite a detailed introduction from the President of Earth, apparently, which I won't dwell on too long. Basically there's some camels and some things to shoot, and it tells you how to start the game, which is nice. And then inside, further detailed instructions about wave selection, energy, buying weapons, what the weapons do. Some interesting stuff there, like yo-yo bullets and big bullets. You can actually buy extra lives as well, and you can select the next wave and enter battle. And it's also got a very important section on basic camel control, and advises that you should play most of each wave with your thumb jammed down on the fire debris on your joystick, which is good. Thanks for the advice. And also a bit about scoring. And finally the loading instructions. Okay, so here's a title screen, and as you can see it says Return the Mutant Camels a lot, and there's a picture of a camel plodding along, and it's got the high score and the last score, and it also says a Yak production, with Yak being the alter ego of Jeff Minter of course. And at the bottom it says music is traditional Peruvian, arranged by Ben. Ben is Ben Dalglish, one of the more famous composers for the Commodore 64. So let's get on with the game. And first of all you're presented with this grid. Each one of these grids sections is a level. You have to start in the top left corner. There's various other stuff which I'll go into later, but let's get the first level started. And the first thing you'll notice, or maybe you won't notice, but I'll point it out, apart from the fact that you're walking a camel across the Egyptian desert, is that the top and bottom of the screen are actually used to display some of the play area, which is quite unusual for Commodore 64. Usually it has a big border all the way around the screen, so that's quite cool and quite a clever piece of trickery programming by Jeff Minter, I think, there. So you control your camel walking across the landscape, and the idea is to just shoot everything and complete the level. You can see there you've got a number of kilometres still to travel. You also got a score which is increasing at the rate of 1 per item killed, and also beasts, which is the number of lives you've got left. First level's pretty easy and nothing really does you any damage, so I've completed the first level there. And completing each level brings you back to the grid with all the levels on. Gives each level, if you successfully complete it, gives you some credits. That's my score there, as I said, an impressive 23 number of lives. And you can use these credits to buy other items, weapons and so on. You do that by pressing fire when the cursor, which you can see on the left here, is over a level that you've already completed. So pressing fire gives me the opportunity to buy various items from the weapons menu here. You can see the little arrow moving up and down. So you've got things like shields, which improve your chance of surviving a level. You've got yo-yo bullets, giant bullets, smart bullets, which are like homing missiles, Reset Max, which sets your energy back up to the top level, and Extra Beastie, which unsurprisingly is an extra life. So for this level I'll buy some giant bullets. Each time you buy an item, the cost of buying it again goes up slightly, so it's gone up from 12 to 14. So on the grid on the left hand side you can move to any adjacent square, up or down or left or right. So I'll go to this one just on the right, press fire and you go to a new level. Every level is slightly different, the enemies are different on each one, or the layout or the colours are different, so no two levels are exactly the same. Here you can see I'm being attacked by marauding Pac-Men and Pac-Men ghosts. And it's fair to say getting my backside kicked because I'm dead, lost a life there. This game is incredibly difficult. So I'll just move on to another level. This one's a blue background. As you see, if you jump in the air you can actually sort of drop little camel bombs, which proves quite useful in this level actually, because a lot of things come along the floor. So the idea once again is to try and survive the level, and once again I've failed because it's rock hard. So let's try again. Again, more psychedelic colours, typical Jeff Minter style, and this time we've got a purple camel being attacked by flying telephones. See if I can make a bit more progress than the last couple of levels. I'm sure there's a strategy to successfully negotiating each level, but I've yet to work it out. Although this one's going reasonably well at the moment by hovering in mid-air. Still got quite a bit of energy left. I imagine there's some levels where you're better off not shooting at all. We shall see what happens. But I've actually got a chance of completing this level. And I have, and got a whopping great score of 169,000 by the looks of it. On each level, the score you accumulate you only get added to your total score if you complete the level successfully. So on some levels I've got like 30 or 40,000 but then died. That none of those points count. So I've got some more credits, so I'm going to use those to buy another item, and I'm going to buy an extra life because I'll probably need that. So let's select a new level and go again. See what I'm faced with this time. Marauding cows it looks like for the most part, who do quite a lot of damage if you get hit by them. And I'm dead. Not a good choice that time then. So let's go back to one of these levels over here. So a bit of a word about the graphics. My experience of Jeff Minter games... Oh, flying Y-fronts this time. My experience of Jeff Minter games is that the graphics fall into one of two categories. His camel style games have got these big chunky graphics, quite nicely animated, and lots of colour. The other option on his games usually is some kind of grid style affair with very small sprites that are no more than a few pixels high and wide. So I'm not doing too bad on this level, but I don't think I'm going to survive somehow. So this one falls into that first category of the big chunky sprites. Nice enough sprites. There goes my camel again, and another life lost. As I mentioned, it is really hard game. So let's move on again. And sound wise it's pretty by the numbers stuff for a Minter game as well. Very loud blasting noises and sort of psychedelic bleeping sounds. The usual sort of stuff really. So on this level I'm being attacked by letters and post boxes. And I think I'm doing better when I'm hovering again, so I'll just stick with the hovering for now. It's almost impossible to avoid some of these enemies. I mean, they just go careering into you. It's a case of can you last the level before everything that's flying into you kills you really. And in some cases that's been possible, like this one, and in lots of cases it seems that it's not. So let's try some smart missiles this time. And we need to go to another new level, so let's go across here, see what we find next. Oh, blimey, a brown camel on a pink background. That is quite a feast for the senses. Oh, on this one, your bullets, oh right, you've got these seeker bullets now, so you let them do the work for you. Not very well it seems, because I'm nearly dead already. I'm in serious trouble. Look at my score rocketing up as well. I've got no chance of surviving that level though. So we move on again. You kind of get the idea, it's quite repetitive, but every level does offer a slightly different challenge. If only a challenge on your eyeballs to actually survive it. I've got cans of Coke flying at me on this one. So to sum up, it's quite an enjoyable game. It's pretty basic stuff really. A lot of effort's gone into the sort of sprites and the psychedelia of each level, but the actual gameplay is pretty straightforward for each one. Am I going to survive this one? It's going to be close. It's got a few clever ideas, like just the fact that you don't actually have to survive a level to complete it, and the fact that your score only adds to your total if you do complete a level, so that sort of adds to the replayability. There's obviously strategy involved for each level as well, and that strategy seemed to work on this occasion. So yeah, in all, it's not a bad game. Is it worth $2.99? If you're a big Minter fan, then I would think yes, it definitely was, but it is rather tough and getting a bit repetitive. So for me, probably not. Now I'm on my last life here, and seem to have come across a level that's I'm being attacked by lungs, and there's lots of packs of fags in the background. So you can't deny the humour in the game for sure. Don't think I'm going to last much longer. They do say smoking kills, and this looks like being the case in this level. In fact, actually hitting them doesn't seem to be doing any good, and that will be the end. As you can see, at the end of the game you get a game over screen, and it also says how much of the game you completed, the 4% being the 4 levels that I actually successfully negotiated. And that's pretty much it. So not a bad game, not the greatest game in the world, but certainly very original and offers quite a bit of fun, I suppose.
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
2, 1, 0.